Welcome to Jackie Builds a CAPRA.
Jackie builds CAPRA. Jackie builds a CAPRA. Jackie builds CAPRA. Jackie builds a CAPRA.
Harmonize.
There you go.
I'm good.
You're good. You're live.
Oh, hey everybody. Happy Halloween.
Oh yeah.
We are back with Jackie Builds a Capra Part 3. If you were here the past 2 days, you will know that I have done up to page 20 on my build. Got my shocks on, got my servo mounted, and I am now working on the transmission. So, I did this part yesterday. Page 20 had a tiny little typo, but that's okay, we figured it out. And now I am on page 21, E2, and let's see what I'm supposed to do now. I don't know if you guys can see that. So, I got my little wind up bit and some different screws. Okie dokie. So, I know I'm gonna need this guy. And this little doodad has the notch in it. Pretty sure it's gonna go like that. More casings. Wait a minute. Okay, I just got here, so let's figure out what the parts are and get them in order. Okay, I am not quite to 21 yet, it seems. I still need this dude to do this thing over here.
You good?
Yep.
Okay. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm sure I'm supposed to put the clip on first, but now I'm doubtful because that other thing was a little strange. Yeah, it's going onto the thread, so I'm gonna try to take this clip off and see if that fits better. It's kind of interesting there aren't any words. You guys, yep, Sean, Patrick is leaving me at the helm today so that I can get more familiar with this kind of stuff. But I think you can see him behind me. Let's see. Alright, yeah, that looks like it fits. Dang little eclipse. So it was freezing this morning, literally 32 degrees. I hope everybody got through traffic okay. It can be kind of squirrely when there's clouds out. Alright, I'm happy with that. So So I had to put the E-clip on first, but I'm sure that's the way to do it. Okie dokie. Now I need this guy. Like so. And then I'm not gonna need any more Loctite on this one. Wait a minute. That guy goes to that guy, and this guy, goes like so, seems. Well, this guy's got some screw holes in it. Let's see, is there a difference here? I think that's right. Where'd my little bit go? It's off. Sean, I haven't seen that link yet, but I will check it out as soon as I get done here today. And Patrick will be around in a little bit. He's just taking care of some stuff right now. Alright, so I'm gonna need one of these dudes. It seems that fits pretty good. And now is anybody going out tonight dressing up? I have a nice shark sweater that I usually wear. It always gets cold on Halloween. Okay, I think, pretty sure that's the guy. Okay, I'm gonna put this bearing down in here. Fits. And it's always so satisfying when they just slide right into where they're supposed to go. Okie dokie. That looks pretty good. And didn't need grease on this guy. There's a note here. It says use spacer for full-time four-wheel drive, no dig function. Okie dokie. Spacer. But where to use the spacer? Got any ideas about that note, Patrick?
Sorry, I'm over there doing crazy things. What?
There's words. Use spacer for full-time.
What? Let's see. Use the spacer for full-time four-wheel drive, no dig function. So, you know, at this point, I guess we probably need to educate you on what dig is, or are you aware, right?
We talked about this a little bit, right? But okay. Now that I'm looking at this, like,
so
is this shim the spacer that they mean, or is it this?
They don't really clarify, do they?
No, they do not. Doesn't even
well,
have a...
that is a spacer.
Let's see. It is...
And if it was there, let me think about this. That definitely comes through there. Yeah, that's got to be what it is. So basically, by having the spacer in there, it prevents this fork from shifting stuff around. So I agree with your assessment. Like we said yesterday, even if you do it incorrectly, we can always go back and change it. And this will be, I mean, this is how you learn, right? All of learning is you do it wrong until you do it right. Mm-hmm. So give it a go.
Okie dokie. Does anybody have any experience with this dig feature? Okie dokie. I'm gonna need 144. That's these little dudes. Seem too low. 8. Kind of reminds me of my friend's grandma has a saying that said, just get out there and do something, even if it's wrong. Just go out and get it.
Dance, monkey.
Yeah, dance like you're the only monkey and no other monkeys are watching. It says it wants the 8s, but I think these are too short. It doesn't seem to be grabbing.
Okay. I'm done with my chores, so I can join you now. Mwahaha.
Delightful.
However, I am going to go fetch us some hot chocolate.
Oh.
Because it's cold outside. Oh, man, you know what? We missed out big time. The next time we do a Jackie Builds series, the intro, instead of having the fun Jackie Builds song that we came up with, and by we I mean me, what we need to do is play the intro from Groundhog Day, that song that he kept hearing. You've seen that movie.
Oh, it's been a long time. That's
right?
my favorite Bill Murray movie, though.
I can't remember what the song is, but I think that would be fun.
It's so right. Or is that Caddyshack? I think it's Caddyshack.
That's Caddyshack.
Dang it.
Hi, guys. I would not say we are more or less busy with Halloween. I don't know that that impacts the sales for us, but we don't have any Halloween-themed products this year. We have some orange and black rings, so I suppose you could order orange rings and black wheels, but it's not like we're doing any sort of Halloween sales or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay, I know what I did. I gotta line up these two little holes before I put the casing on.
Is it possible to just put that one thing in and screw it in?
Well, but see where the marks were. I just need to line it up.
No, and like, can you just? I haven't looked at the parts that you're messing with, so you know what? No, do what you're doing.
Ooh.
Because I haven't watched, so I'll be making uneducated guesses, and that never helps anyone. I'll be right back. By right back, I mean like 10 minutes.
Okay. Isn't an uneducated guess just a hypothesis? I was a little bit busy today because we got in some new 155 rings, and so I've got to count them and sort them out. You know, like sending out things that are damaged. Alright, little buddy. Go back to your home. Let's see if I can line this up appropriately. Maybe. See it in there. Oh, you know what? I think I'm supposed to use the 8. Is that the 8? Let's see. That's the 8. Okay. I'm just having trouble with it. Did I get it? Oh my gosh. 1, 3, 8. Yeah. Making sure it's not one of the flatheads, but there's a bevel, so it should just slide right in. Tell you what, y'all, I've been having some pretty difficult times getting some of these screws through the plastic. But just gotta take your time, line it up. Yeah, it hates me. Where's that pinball thing go? Is there anybody else working on a build right now? You are my nemesis. Let's see. So I'm just turning the back so I can try to line up these tiny little rascally holes. Where are you? Come back. What did I do? Oh, that came loose. Okay. No problemo. I think that might be easier to do without the back in there. So I can definitely see this better now. Nothing on the other side. Alright, I think I got it. Alright, seems like it's working. Just gotta clamp it down. Interesting. Alrighty. Well, kids, these are sticking out. I think I used the 12s instead of the 8s. So let's try taking one out. It's interesting because this thing doesn't have any screw holes and it's not going to connect to this. except by the bearing. Okay, but I'm only going to take out one. That way I don't have to struggle lining it up again. Alright. You getting in there? Come on, little buddy. Wait a minute, is this the wrong size screwdriver? No wonder I'm having a hard time. They're so tiny. Oh, okay, I did it, haha. So, I was using the one...
Do you have a preference between mint hot chocolate or dark hot chocolate?
I like minty stuff. Alright, thanks.
There you go. I'll take the dark one. They're both a little minty because I use, well, it's my secret hot chocolate recipe. I can't divulge that.
Secrets.
Everything good?
Yep.
Alright.
I put in the 12s on accident. I noticed I couldn't get it flush without it popping out the back. So I switched them out.
So you don't need me. I can go do things.
You can do all those things. Alright, my spacer. And now... See what I did? There's a little bit... There's a bearing. There's a bearing in there. And then that little bit goes in there.
Are you trying to show me or the camera?
Yeah, you.
Oh,
but
I'll come around here so you can show me and the camera. Or you can do that. These things happen.
But see, this thing doesn't screw in, so I could take it out to do my jam. And screw that part in.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Or that's what I intended to say. I don't know this. I can't be expected to remember what I said 5 minutes ago.
I know. Life is hard.
The hot chocolate's warm, but it's not scalding hot like yesterday, I think.
Alright, thank you.
But if it's not hot enough, you tell me. Nobody likes warm chocolate. What?
Well, it seems like it's at an angle.
A little cockeyed there, isn't it?
Yeah. What the heck? Maybe this is just not lining up.
Woo! Apparently you're supposed to chew marshmallows before you suck them into your lungs. Does that look straight when it's out? Okay. Then when you put it in, what happens?
Well, I gotta get the crosses to line up.
Right. Oh, I'm thinking once you get a shaft in there, it will fix itself. That's my hope. We'll see what happens.
How do I... Let me try it without this. Get that to go... Yeah, it should snap in there.
Yeah, it will. It's got to. Unless that spacer is incorrect.
Interesting.
How could we be misinterpreting the spacer? You know what? I wonder if the spacer goes on the outside. Slide that in without the spacer.
I think I'm putting this guy on backwards. I think it's supposed to come towards me.
So when I'm looking at this, the long portion faces the back extended portion of this where your screws came in. So that's backwards right now to me.
Okay.
So try it the other way. But try it without putting, yeah. Oh, we haven't been paying attention to comments because I was downstairs making hot chocolate. I apologize, public. Been slacking. Got all sorts of comments.
Oh, nice. I think that looks pretty good.
Sean, that's funny that you just commented that because I just realized it. I wasn't even reading the comments because I was just too involved with making cocoa. All right, what happened?
I think that works.
So better? Yeah, so I think if you put the spacer on the outside, so the way I'm guessing this works, based on like our 2-speed for the SX102, is you're going to have a little servo that actuates this in and out. And so by putting the spacer there, you're just allowing it to be bolted to, yeah. Yep.
That doesn't make any sense. Covers the threads.
Right, because all you're going to do is put a nut on there and it's going to hold it in place. So when you go to put a servo on and you pull this off, it will allow it to go in and out and shift back and forth.
Interesting.
I think that'll make more sense to you once you're done. So somewhere in there, they should have something about putting a nut on here.
I think that's the wind-up.
Oh, yes, the wind up. Yeah, good call.
All right. It's all coming together. Oh, okay. Well, when it snaps in, it exposes the threads.
Yeah.
The rest could be plastic. Might have to hold that down or pre-thread this guy because it's just spinning.
It's just spinning. Yeah. You want your pre-thread screw?
Yes.
Or do you want to just hold it down with some pliers? Both. You could do both.
I'm just gonna smash it.
Smashing not working?
Look at my poor little finger.
Yeah. Grab that bad boy with the pliers. And you got the vice grips over here too if you want. I'm gonna roll my chair over so I can keep up with your public.
Thanks.
Better?
Yes. So should I take that all the way down? Or
I
give
don't
it
know
some...
if you'll be able to take it all the way down. It seems like the spacer might need to be longer for that, but I don't I don't have an answer to your question. You definitely don't want to so you can bottom out the rod end and then it will strip or it will punch through, which would be bad, but I don't know how much of it you have on there already. No, I mean like I don't know how much rod end is already threaded on. Does that make sense?
No.
How many turns on? Do you know what I mean?
It's like halfway.
No, I'd go as far as you can, but you don't want to strip it down.
Right.
Go as far as you can, but don't go too far.
Ugh.
Fantastic instructions on my part. Everyone wants cocoa. It's hard to ship hot cocoa. I don't know that we can like ship them. We'd have to have like hand warmers or something. Yeah, if anyone is wondering where I get my sense of humor, these are 2 hints for you. Wait, I guess, is he? Yeah, he's on that side. This is where my personality comes from. Those 2, yeah. Now we're just teasing him. That's not nice. But do you know what I mean?
What? Jelly bean?
Yes. Is that it?
Yes.
It went out all the way? Perfect. So I guess what I'm saying is somewhere inside of a rod end, if you thread something too far, it will like punch through and go into the circular part,
No.
which we wouldn't want. Now, that's not when I say rod end, you know, I'm talking about these guys, right? These things. since that's not really a rod end, I don't know that it would really matter. I've yet to see how that hooks up to a servo arm. But yeah, there's a little bit of slack in there too. But hey, we may have to go back later and put another spacer on. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
It's all gravy.
U part. We're up here now. One, 4, 6.
Sean, I've never had Timmy's hot cocoa. Maybe that's a Canadian brand or something. I don't know. We're drinking Swiss Miss, along with, it's a mixture of Swiss Miss and HEB, and HEB being the local grocery store down here. They make good stuff, usually.
This guy wants me to do something, but I'm not exactly sure what. I think this goes this way.
I agree. We're combining stuff. That goes in with the hole towards the back. Yeah, that looks good. Sure.
No.
No? Are you saying no, or yeah? I think you're. Yeah. Right.
It seems like the square part should slide in farther into the square, but it's just.
Because I think all of this stuff is going to slide onto the square part. Because what actually, so this spins in there, but what happens, see what had happened is, what happens when you shift this, the fork moves that whole assembly forward and locks all that stuff together that way, if that makes sense. So this is where we're going to figure out where the spacer is actually supposed to go, on the inside or the outside. I'm guessing now that I look at it that actually the spacer probably is supposed to go on the inside.
That's it?
No. Like just the inside. I don't know how else to explain it. Because what we're doing right now by having the spacer back here is we've pulled these teeth away from the splines in this, so it's not going to make contact. So as this spins, right? Mm-hmm. So as this spins, the front's spinning, but these teeth right here and the splines in there aren't going to make contact because we've pulled it away. So I think we need to take, yeah, okay, see? So basically what would happen is without the spacer there, when you pull this back, it disconnects the rear axle. And when you push it forward, it connects the rear axle. So yeah, we need to take the spacer off. Sorry.
All right.
It's hard to tell. And since they had an error already on that page, it's like, I don't know what's happening.
I don't trust you.
Okay, your right hand is going to be jacked when you're done with this build.
Yes.
Twisting things.
I'm going to be the thumb war champion of all time.
That was quick.
Thanks.
Easier with the vice grip?
Much.
It's probably plenty.
Okie dokie.
Oh, no. Wait, where's the spacer?
Right here.
Yeah, so I think the spacer needs to go in there. Actually, you know what? We're going to hook a dig up on this eventually. So leave the spacer out. Yeah. You're good.
It came out a little.
That's okay. I think it'll all slide smoothly. It should all slide smoothly once you get it on there. Sean says we made him want cocoa, so he's making some.
Nice.
That's what we need to do in these builds from now on. We need to recommend things, but before we do it, we need to go buy stock in them. Because I mean, look at that. We increased hot cocoa sales by 1 person just by filming what was probably going to be like 8 hours of RC building when we're done.
I'm gonna need that.
I feel like that's probably not a good return on our secret, whatever stock price plan, but we'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, because there's the clip in there. Alright.
Oh, you were still doing it?
I was just jiggling the things just
Jiggle
to make
it
sure.
just a little bit.
Just to make it very sure. Alrighty. Then I need these guys finally.
Make sure it's those?
Yes, because that's the guy that I pulled out earlier.
Oh, gotcha.
Helps having the right screwdriver too.
Hex driver.
Hex screw driver.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think when you say screwdriver, most people think of a Phillips or flathead. And since those are hex tips, I think most people call them hex drivers. That's just my thoughts.
That would be a good warlock costume. I am the hex driver.
Are you dressing up for Halloween and going anywhere fun?
No way. I'm staying away from people.
Fair enough.
Going back to Snuggletown with my puppies. Seems like it's in all the way, but it's still turning.
Well, I thought it was supposed to rain tonight, but now it says it's going to be sunny. Because the weather here, or the weathermen, the weather people, I guess to be politically correct, the weather persons, I feel like they change their mind constantly.
Yeah. I'd not want to be a weather person in Central Texas.
Well, I mean, you get to...
Be wrong constantly.
Yeah, there's a 20% chance. I mean, imagine if we did that. How would you guys feel if when you place an order, instead of it saying your order has been received and will ship in X amount of days or whatever, you got an email that said, there's a 20% chance we're going to send your order today. Maybe.
Not washer. I'm pretty sure that's the guy. 211.
Hey, Robin, this is the Axial CAPRA build. So it's both.
Alrighty.
Looking good?
That wants to do that.
So now that we have this, do you want me to explain more how dig works?
Yes.
Okay, so here, have some cocoa. Hand me that.
You want to switch spots?
No, we're not going to switch spots, but you'll be able to see from there. So your motor gets plugged in right here, goes to a spur gear, and spins this, right? So this is always spinning the front. There's nothing that connects or disconnects. In the back, your dig servo controls whether or not this, so this is your rear output, so that's going to go to the rear drive shaft. So if the servo goes one way, it's loose, or it's not spinning with the front, right? If it goes this way, it should snap in and connect. Now they both spin. Now, I'm guessing, because I haven't been inside this transmission really, but usually they have a middle setting where the front will get power and the rear is just loose. So it can spin by itself, right? Or if you lock it, so it will lock into place in the rear, which means the rear axle actually can't spin at all. So you have the option of full-time four-wheel drive, or leaving the rear end just loose to do whatever it wants to do, and the front gets power, or the front gets power and the rear axle is completely locked. And I will show you later why those are beneficial once you drive this.
Okie doke, here I am. This part. I think that's the right guy. What do you think?
I'm not paying any attention to what you're doing.
This guy? Unless it's this guy. But no.
I don't even see that part listed on the page.
Right? So 2011.
Well, most of the time when you have a slipper, you get a spring.
There is a spring.
Right
here,
there.
This one.
So if you use the spring, that allows you to adjust the slipper. How much tension is on there. I guess I have to explain what the slipper is to you. So, let's see. Manual transmission kind of thought process here, but when you are driving and one of your tires gets bound, so you're driving along and you get stuck between rocks, and no matter what you do, that tire is stuck. If you keep giving it gas, one of two things is going to happen. The tire's going to pop out and you're going to keep going,
No.
or something's going to break. So they developed the slipper transmission. And what that means is when you get something that's horribly bound up, instead of a part breaking, this will have a little bit of give. So that's why you've got those friction pads, those blue pads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you have the spring in there, depending upon how tight you make it, that determines the amount of slip that you get, right? So for most people, slippers are great. If you've got an inexperienced driver or whatever, I think it's a good thing because then you can determine how much slip you're actually getting. Versus how much power you're absolutely going to send to the ground. Now you've seen it because you've helped send out a whole lot of these. We make the slipper eliminator, right?
Yeah.
Now we don't have one for this kit. I haven't tested to see if anything fits it, but the slipper eliminator basically takes that whole spring and everything contraption out and allows you to have 100% power all the time. Which for someone like me, that like if I'm competing and I get a tire bound, I'm not backing out. So the slipper is only going to at some point loosen up and irritate me. So I would prefer to be driving and be able to give 100% power and reach the point where either the tire is going to come out of the hole or something's going to break, because I'm not going to back down. I don't have time for it.
Nice.
So for you though, let's put the spring in.
Okay.
Also because we don't have like upgrade shafts or anything like that in here, so we're going all stocky.
No.
But I am surprised though that they're not showing like, hey, you have an option here to put the spring in or put this spacer in. I'm gonna peek ahead in the instructions. I just want to check to see if maybe they list that somewhere else. Oh, they do. You know what? That's not what that spring is. Yeah, okay. Pull that spring out. That spring is for a servo arm. It looks like, I think, is that, okay, so that's not included. Is there a servo arm and stuff? Yeah, there is. Okay, so that spring is not part of the slipper eliminator. The spring is actually for this little mini servo that we don't have, so we'll have to procure one.
What?
To use the, it's okay. We don't always have everything all the time. We're not.
Why would they give parts for a thing that they don't include?
Because not everyone wants to use the dig function. And to just add a servo that you're not using is just going to be extra weight.
Okay.
So some people will skip that.
Okey-dokey.
Oh, sorry. Bye, Roman. Sean, I'm pretty sure if we sent you some marshmallows, by the time they get to you in Canada, they would be crunchy. I don't know what the shelf life of marshmallows are. But it's not like we'd be sending a whole bag, so it would be open.
I like those crunchy cereal marshmallows.
That's what I added in here. We bought just extra marshmallows.
Nice.
Like a little, in the spice rack, they sell like
What?
yeah.
What?
I didn't know it either. Or maybe it was in like the cake decorating. I don't know. But we found little mini marshmallows in a little bottle.
Amazing. I don't know if they still do this, but they were selling cereal flavored milk.
Oh, wow. Actually, now that you mention this, I feel like I saw somewhere on Amazon someone was selling, instead of cereal with marshmallows, they were just selling the cereal marshmallows.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Then you could make your own.
I mean, that's like
Sure.
eating a bowl of sugar.
But then you can make your own
Make your-
marshmallow milk. But now the consumerism is so out of control, they just take the marshmallows out, flavor in the milk.
Basically, just sugary milk.
You know, I want marshmallows.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. The flavor is just not. This doesn't do it for me.
Sean, I don't know what brand marshmallows they are, but it was either like the spice rack area of our grocery store or maybe the cupcake, whatever decorating area. They sold a little jar of the little mini white marshmallows, similar to what you find in prepackaged hot chocolate. I don't remember why we purchased extra, but who knows? Maybe we purchased hot cocoa and it didn't have marshmallows, and someone said, I gotta have marshmallows.
Right. No regrets.
Nope. No regrets. Have you seen that movie?
What? It's in a movie? That's my favorite tattoo of all time.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, what was that movie? I'm so bad with names. Let's see, who was in it? I don't remember who was in it. It was, the guy... Let's see, Jennifer Aniston was in it, and what is that guy's name? He's hilarious too. They were like driving an RV, they were like smuggling drugs or something, and the girl meets this guy, and the guy just has a tattoo that says no regrets. What is it?
I can't remember, but it's relevant to my interests. I was.
See, now I gotta look this up.
Every time I saw trailer for that, I was like, oh yeah, RV life, cool, I'll watch that, and then I never remember. I'm not a big Jennifer Aniston fan. I think Waiting was the best one.
I've never met her.
What? I've never met her either. But just as far as like movies and stuff that she's on. You were.
So the movie is called We're the Millers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What's the guy's name?
What? Vince Vaughn, maybe?
No.
I would guess Vince Vaughn.
Although I could have seen him in that too. Jason Sudeikis? Got long hair in this picture. It doesn't really look like him, but it's him. You know who that is, right? No? What else has he been in? That looks more like him.
Yeah, like Ben Affleck.
Nice grainy picture. You recognize him, right?
I don't. He looks just like Ben Affleck to me.
What? No.
He's got the like smarmy Hollywood
He was in
vibe.
Horrible Bosses. Another Jennifer Aniston movie. Now that I
gosh.
think about it.
Mm.
He was in Angry Birds, the movie. Hall Pass. 2 Angry Birds movies.
Wow.
Lots of those.
I'm more of a Plants vs. Zombies person myself.
Listen to more things that I've not heard of. Horrible Bosses 2 also. He was in The Campaign at some point. What do I know him from? I think I remember him mostly from the show that I was watching on, I don't remember if it was Hulu or Netflix. It was called Last Man on Earth. Did you ever see that one? No? Fair enough. I got nothing. I don't know. He's been in a bunch of stuff, apparently.
Never heard of him.
You've heard of him.
Never. Nope. You better.
How are we doing?
You know. These screws hate the plastic.
Sean now has cocoa in a blanket. Sean, what's the temperature where you are? Because it just got down to freezing here in Texas. So we can literally say it's freezing. Or I guess we can say it's freezing and it's actually correct. As opposed to normally when we say, man, it's freezing and it's like 50 degrees outside. But I know you're up in Canada, so I'm imagining that it's much, much colder where you are. Uh-oh. Problem?
I'm gonna smash it.
Hulk smash.
it says it wants a 12.
Okay.
I think those might be the 8s.
Well, you know, you've got some calipers over there you can measure with. Instead of just guessing. Are you sure it wants... I see 18. What step are you on?
I'm on that guy.
Oh, hey, there's 146. 146 is 12, yeah. And then, so it's got 2 short ones. It's got 2 M3 by 8s and 1 M3 by 12.
This guy is... I think it just wasn't long enough to get through the parts.
What's up, Eric? Sean says it's 9 degrees where he is.
What?
That's cold.
I'm gonna need a Snuggie. Just thinking about that.
What about the slanket? Is that what it was? No. What's that thing I saw where it was like, oh, it was so ridiculous. It was like a sleeping bag with a face hole and legs. Have you seen that?
No, but I want one.
It's the most ridiculous looking thing I've ever seen. It's like a full body sleeping bag, but you have to keep your arms down by your side, but then it's got a split for legs. So you can walk around, but you can't use your arms. We need to find a way to be able to add images onto here somehow, so we can come up with these things and share them with people. Eric will probably know.
Tell you what, though, it gets under 68 and I'm on the heated blanket.
Sean says that's nothing. He used to work in like -30.
Ah, jeez.
Not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. Cold. I don't know.
I heard that once it gets under 0, then it doesn't really make a difference.
I don't know about that either. So I was in Steamboat Springs, Colorado one year, and I want to say it was -10 or something.
Ugh.
And we were there for a wedding.
Help.
So naturally we were having a good time. And my buddy and I went middle of the day, and it's -10, and we're sitting in the hot tub outside the hotel, just having fun, hanging out. And as the steam is coming up from the hot tub, it's moving over like 5 feet. It's snowing 5 feet away from us, basically, because all the steam is rising and then instantly freezing and dropping.
That's
that
weird.
was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Have you seen those pictures where somebody is in like Antarctica or like Patagonia and they throw boiling water?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I like looking at the pictures, but Alright, it's motor time. I'm on page 22.
We don't have a motor selected for you. Is there opinion? Yeah. So let's pick a motor. Let me see. I don't even know what this thing asks for in terms of motor. Hey, Eric, since you've joined, do you have any motor suggestions for the CAPRA? In the meantime, I'll be digging through what I've got. Let's see. Because we got to put something in there.
Yeah. Where'd my little set screw go?
Now, I am by no means suggesting this motor to people. This just happens to be what I had sitting under this workbench that hasn't been used. So we're going to see what happens. But this is, I don't even know what kit or whatever this came out of. Maybe this was this come with an SCX-10-2. I don't know what this came with. Axial 20-turn motor. Brand new, unused. Shablam.
Do you think I'm missing a set screw?
Uh-oh.
According to this.
Is it in there already?
I think I saw it yesterday, but I'm not seeing it right now.
Oh, you know what? I thought I saw one of those the other day too. Where could it have gone? And I thought it went to a drive shaft. So let me think. What did I think that went to? We took something apart, but I don't remember putting it anywhere. Aha! Is this it? But this looks used.
What?
So, you know, maybe when Eric and I were working on the SCX-10, maybe we used the... Well, you hadn't started this yet.
Right? I think I remember it popping out of the bag.
Well, see if that fits. If that fits, run it. If it doesn't, we'll find one. That or the Gremlins. Haha! Nope. Yeah. Found it.
Oh, right. Delightful.
So then this definitely does go to the other truck. There's always a couple extra parts left when you put them back together. You know. It's being efficient. That's what it is.
Now I want to hear that Johnny Cash song.
Sean says he liked the face. Can do it again, face reveal? Or do you mean the Inferno joke video? I mean the real Inferno wheel reveal video that anyone else watching this should go check out? Is that what you're talking about? That did not seem very popular with some people. And that's okay. You probably want to slide that on more. That's my thought.
All the way?
Yes. Probably. That's my thought.
It's beautiful. Look at your little hat.
That's a big pinion.
Alrighty.
Usually so tiny.
Wait, I'm supposed to thread lock this guy.
I would definitely be very. Does that say what strength it is? Thread lock, perchance?
Horizon Hobby, thread lock,
Nope.
irritant.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. It's red, but I can't remember if all red means medium strength or if there's a difference between brands. Too many things to remember.
How tight do I want this set screw? Just flush?
Comfortably tight.
All the way tight?
Snug.
Snug. Okay.
I mean, I'd give it a good snug, because that thing gets put under a lot of pressure.
Okie dokie.
If it comes loose, you'll know that it wasn't tight enough. Yeah, no, I mean, when I say I'd give it a good snug, I mean, I'd kind of give it some horsepower.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Give it the dainty power.
Nah,
The pony power.
No, I mean, like, grab it and go, Arr! Get some tight. Okay, there you go. You just, you know what? I think you just hold. So for me, when I'm holding the tool, for whatever reason, when I'm going to do something tight, I'm no longer holding it like this. I have to go like I'm choking it. It's just difference in holding things.
Look, he's scared of you. No.
Sean, technically we have 4 cameras for streaming. However, we only use 2. And that's because one of them is a microscope that we're just still playing with. And the other one is in the other room. But I was playing around with a microscope the other day, thinking that might actually be fun for some things to be able to show a crazy high level of detail. And although it allows me to zoom in on things really, really, really closely, it just doesn't give the best picture. So I actually think it would be better for us to set up just another generic webcam that is just kind of facing down microscope style. That, or we need to get a better quality camera, because that microscope thing was not very expensive. What's up?
Well, I'm just trying to line up my little situation. So what? Okay. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to use these little dudes.
So when you're setting the mesh between these two things, it's adjustable. And it's adjustable because sometimes you can change out this pinion gear to be larger or smaller. Mm-hmm. So you'll want to put like one screw in, and then I'll show you how to tighten the mesh. But that's not what that is.
What?
Missing?
This? That?
Yeah. Yeah, that's for something. That's not that. I don't know what's going on there. So the screws that you're going to use to hold the motor in are going to go into these two slots. That way you can adjust it.
Okay, in the slots.
Yeah. Those other two holes, they look like that's what you use to bolt this on.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Sean said, but you should turn on the other camera to see her face and such. It sounds cool, the other ones.
Oh, put me up on the top screen, the split screen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Split screen. Bam! Split screen.
Hi.
No!
Yes. Alright, tiny rascal. You don't stand a chance now. Alright, one at a time.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. But they still go in the holes right here, right?
They go in the threaded holes.
Okay.
There's two. It looks like there's two sets of thread holes. So I don't know if they may have threaded that motor for. I doubt it. They may have threaded it for two different sets of holes. No, that's just that one's not threaded, so it's got to be those.
Okay, just making sure it wasn't slots on that side.
Yeah, no. That may be the wrong tool though. Yeah. Now you can see us both. Yeah.
You said this is supposed to slide around, so should I not make it very tight?
So, a couple of things that. So before you even tighten that, so yes, don't make it super tight. So when you set gear mesh on, and I'll call it like the pinion, right? What you want is a piece of paper. Basically, what you do is you put this piece of paper between the two gears. Not in there. Between the two gears, and then you kind of try to make it as tight as you can, and the paper will provide correct spacing. Now the other thing, so like keep the piece of paper in between is what I'm saying. Yeah, you can run it through again.
My beautiful grease.
So you can just leave it in the middle, and now you want to kind of squeeze them together to tighten them as much as you can. Now another thing, and you won't be happy with me about this, when I said slide the pinion on all the way, and I was like, yeah, I don't really know. So we want to make sure that these two gears have as much contact with each other as possible.
Ugh.
So what you're going to want to do is, see this little slot right here?
Mm-hmm.
Line the set screw up with that slot, loosen it, pull the pinion up a little until they're the same depth. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sean, the split screen is a new thing for us, so I'm not completely used to having it. No, my wife does not do anything RC related. And I'm okay with that. She is a big football fan. That's her. I don't want to say that's her hobby, but it's one of the things she's into. Is it stuck on there now?
It hates me.
It hates you? Worst case scenario is you take the two screws out of the motor and pull the motor out, wedge a screwdriver between the motor and the pinion, and pop it up a little bit. Can't believe I drank all my cocoa already.
Freak.
Cocoa pig. I don't enjoy things. I just like chug them. It's like I'm still in college. And like you have to eat as fast as you can before it's all gone. That works.
You see?
Mm-hmm. And you know, I didn't think about it, but you may actually be able to do better close-ups of parts on that camera.
Need
I don't know if it's focusing. Here,
switch the lights up a little.
Oh yeah, there you go. Try it now. Does that focus better? Yeah, it's also partly lighting. That may or may not focus better. It's still focused on you. It's hard to get it just right.
How's that look?
Good. Of course, you know, I guess the downfall to having the split screen this way is that just because of our camera setup, you tend to be working on the left side of the screen, which is where we also have the split screen set up. So we'll have to remember for next time to move the split screen to like the top right corner, because there's not a whole lot going on over there.
That's true.
I'm not sure if I can do that while this is running, and I don't want to try because it may crash it. I don't like to try crazy things while we're actually streaming, because that would be no fun.
Much better.
Every time. So don't forget to crank your pinion down all the way, if you haven't already. I wasn't watching.
It's cranked, but now these guys don't touch.
Right, so you can loosen your screws for this, put your piece of paper in, then set your mesh. Now that you have the pinion depth in relation to, you know, that set correctly.
Like so?
What? Yeah.
I'm not understanding your paper trick.
So that just provides some spacing between them. So once you get it squeezed tight and you're asking me if it's perfect. I don't know, because I'm not in there. But what you want is to have like just the slightest bit of play between the two gears. So you put the paper in there because it makes it super thin, and then now if you roll your gear, it'll spit the paper out, right? And then however thick the paper is, that should be the spacing between the two of them. Does that make sense? Because
Okay.
if you make it too tight, it'll be rough.
You'll grind it.
Yeah.
All right. It works.
So.
Cool. I'm gonna put some more grease on the.
No, don't use that grease.
What?
Ah!
This is the grease. All right, I'll use the Loctite.
Yeah, try that. Got some of that grease from the old Axial. That stuff's. Still need to clean that up and send it.
All right, you. What did I do with my? Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's see here.
Now it's calling for that servo that we don't have. So for a short time, we're gonna have to just not install anything, I guess. Because I don't think we have a servo of that size. Maybe we do. I don't know. Let me see. What is that? SPMSSX107. That's a long part number.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just get these little pieces together and put them in a bag.
What was the part number again?
It is a SPMSSX107.
just want to find the size of it. I mean, I know it's micro, but I want actual dimensions. Nobody actually lists the size of this thing? Ah. Curses.
What?
We'll figure it out. Where's the servo mount? Okay, so that like mounts to the transmission
Is that
plate.
this?
Yeah, so that's the servo. So there's two little. So these things are the. Okay, so here are our brackets, I guess, that hold it.
All right. So it plays with that little wind-up thing.
Yes, it plays with the wind-up thing. So let me see. This piece. Let's see. Go to the next page real quick. Okay. So with this right here, I'm just trying to see how this all goes together. This is going to go like this, and this one must go like this. Okay, so I need a servo that will have a mounting hole pattern. What are those? Can I borrow those calipers real quick? Let's see, I'll go run and see if we have anything that's even close. That's 28.8. Okay. Continue, and I shall return.
Okie dokie. That's everything.
Can't promise this will work, but we can try.
All right.
But we may get into more trouble trying it than it's worth. So. I haven't seen how their arm and everything works. Let's see. I also don't know what the torque specs are on that Spectrum servo. I know this isn't like a powerhouse or anything, but this is a replacement for the Traxxas shift servos. Let's see. Whopping 2.5 kg/cm at 6 volts. Woohoo! So much power. We're not going to be able to use that servo arm, is the thing.
Oh.
I don't think.
Why?
Well, so if you look at the servo I handed you, how small the splines are on here. We have to look at the size of whatever you've got in your hand, because that's the arm. And if it's too big, which I'm guessing that it's going to be too big, but I don't know. No, the servo arm.
Oh.
Right, so remember when we attached the servo arm, I can't talk anymore, servo arm on here, right? So some portion of that, let's see, there's another part that has to go in there somewhere, right?
That hat, where'd my other hat go?
Yeah, I don't know, but we need the other hat. because that's what has the splines on it.
Okay, I got my little hat right here.
It's not. That's right. Oh. It's not in a different bag or anything, right? Is there a bag we haven't opened? No.
Well, we're still on E.
Right. Okay. So, part somewhere.
So I put the skinnier hat like that.
Right. Yeah. So we're looking for SPM. Wow. So okay, they provide you with this whole servo arm contraption, but this part only comes with the servo.
Oh, come on.
That's okay. So what we will do is we will see what is offered with this, and we're gonna make something work.
That's right.
It may not work well, but we're gonna figure it out.
You don't stand a chance.
As we go. Okay, so this is probably our best bet for an arm that will fit on there. What we'll want to do is figure out which hole is closest, going to give us the closest length to that, and then we will need to attach this screw to, I don't know, sorry. How are things? Things good? Yeah. So we need to attach, why did I do that? We need to attach the arm to the servo first. So grab your servo, grab your arm, put the arm, put your left foot in, and this little tiny guy, this is what attaches it. Yeah. I don't know which direction that needs to be yet, because, you know, we'll have to see once it gets in there. But we can always adjust that by pulling it off. You're going to need a little tiny screwdriver. See if that gets it done. If not, we got its little brother right here. Just in case this does work out, this is actually a servo that we sell. I don't know if that's legible. Catch some lights, maybe. Let's see. Oh, it's hard to try to get things to like get in the light. Anyway. So that looks like it's about the right size. So when you got these servo arms screwed on, what we need to do now is, so we need to make this work like that. No, sorry, we need to make that work like this. So how long would you say it is from the center of this hole to here?
Probably like 6 or 7 millimeters.
Oh no, I don't mean you have to guess. I'm just saying we want to try to use the same hole just to get the similar throw. 13. So about 13. So how far is it on that arm to the furthest hole? Does that make sense?
No. How about you do this?
No. You're good. Why?
Special little project.
So look, all we're doing is this. So probably that hole's a little further. That one's a little closer. So what we need to do is we need to take this hole and enlarge it so that this fits in there, because then we're basically back on the instructions. Does that make sense now?
No.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and start attaching the transmission to the skid plate? I'm going to go drill out this arm so that this will go in there, and that's basically going to replicate all of this. Make sense?
Okay.
Okay, good. I'll be right back.
The servo that we are experimenting with is not included in this packet. But so there are a few little parts, we went over them yesterday, that are just not included. The motor being one, this little servo being the other. So what it wants me to do, this is so weird because this part here, you can see it says 107, is not included, but the rest of this stuff is. So that's kind of weird. And that servo is going to attach to my motor here, but it needs to be mounted in onto the motor, as you can see here, so that I can attach everything to the skid plate. That's what's going on. So, we're not really sure what their recommended size and torque is. There's a little bit of guesswork. Also, the tires are not included, so that's kind of interesting.
Right, so we need to pick tires too.
Yeah.
That's okay. We're going through this just like someone that went and bought one and finds all these things out. So what I've got is I drilled out a hole on here, right? So just like these instructions are set up. So we need to probably switch the arm to face that way. So what we're doing is we are replacing this part, and wherever the other arm went over here. So we're replacing these parts and the part that's not included with this white thing.
Okay.
Because we don't have those parts.
Is it going to be tall enough?
We'll see what happens.
Look at this little hat.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. Don't know. Don't know. First time.
So switch thing.
Yeah. So in the picture, they've got the arm facing the other way based on where the splines are coming out and everything. So we just want to try to mimic that. We will probably, once we actually fire it up, I will probably just pull the arm off completely, because I don't know if this servo is centered right now or not. And I don't think it's a 360-degree rotation servo. So basically when you turn on the electronics, like all the servos go to 0. So your front tires, if your car was sitting with the tires like this, when you turn it on, they go, they straighten out. So the same thing will happen with the shift servo. And if we have the linkage hooked up and it's way off of center, it will try to correct itself, and it may try to overcorrect and burn up the little servo.
Poor little servo.
Right.
So what do you want it to go on that side?
Correct.
Because there's only splines on one side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. I want the arm facing that way.
Okay.
Good job. Like I said, I don't know that this is even going to work, but that's what we have, so that's what we're going to try.
Okie dokie. I did it. I'm done now.
Splendid. So now take this screw and this hat and this nut and assemble that.
And that's supposed to go on the bottom?
That's what it looks like, yeah. You're probably going to have to thread it in just because of the size that I drilled the hole to. I don't want to remove too much material off of that little tiny baby servo arm. And actually, if that works the way that I think it's going to, I think that means you probably. I think I will like it if it's going to work the way that it looks like it's going to, because I think that means it's just going to dip into that. What'd you call it? The windy thing.
Yes.
So a lot of times these things get messed with. Yeah, there you go.
Even if it sticks out like that?
We can trim it if we want to later, but it should be fine.
And so
So now you're on this step, basically, or that step, or whatever. But you need to, you need to attach these two things to it. And now you're back on instruction, which is keep in mind the direction of everything.
Yeah, these are different.
Yes, they are.
Looks like this guy goes on this side.
out of the way. I've been neglecting comments. We have 2 of them. I'm a bad comment reader. Sean wants to know if we're going to try to finish it today. Sean, I don't think so. We've got about 30 minutes left, give or take. And I don't know how many pages we have left, but we haven't gotten to the body yet. We still don't have tires, so those will have to be assembled. And then we've got all of the, whatever other little tidbits are in there. Oh, let's leaf through these instructions real quick. We've got to get the transmission mounted, assemble drive shafts, get the skid plate into the cage, has to be built, get the skid plate into it, get all of that assembled. Looks like we've got lots of screws in there. Have to assemble the interior, paint it if we're going to paint it. Yeah, it's definitely not going to get finished today. And simply because we have some painting and stuff to do, which honestly we will probably do that off of camera because I don't really want to paint inside, get too messed up from that. So I'm thinking a couple of days. We may do a giveaway at the end. I don't know what's going to happen. But we try to do the giveaways, I guess, to fit the theme of the video. And since we don't have any CAPRA products yet, we don't really have anything to give away. But if the server works out, that might be something we can give away. Yeah. Bam. Water.
Okay, now I need my 1/16s, which are...
Keep wanting this chair to be taller. So I feel like I'm as tall as you if I use perspective, but then when I actually get next to you, I'm down on a chair. This makes me look incredibly short.
Hobbit sized.
Yeah. With booster seat.
Okay, so this is supposed to do one of these.
Mm-hmm. Something like that. Well, not exactly. I'd put that on there and then figure out.
Well, it says that mounts to this somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Well, that mounts to. Oh no, that mounts to the skid plate.
What? Yeah. But it says.
Right. So those two. So let me see. I need a pointer. These 2 screws are going to go through these holes and into these holes. Okay. And if you look on the bottom of that, there's a hole and then there's a pin.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to find the spot on there that has the hole. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a little short.
Yeah. Did we measure incorrectly? It's highly probable. Or, wait, I got it. Let me see. I think we just need to do this.
Brilliant. Okay, where's my little wire go though?
Goes where it wants.
Aha.
There you go. Fits.
Ta-da.
In theory, it fits. We will see what happens. So since this slides down through that first, you may want to just sit that on there, slide that in, make sure it all fits before you screw anything down.
Oh.
Did we forget it? Yeah, we forgot this cover too.
What? What does that go to? Oh, probably right here.
That goes right here. We missed it right here. What's wrong?
Well, I pushed it down. That's probably why this needs to go on.
Ah. Is it loose?
No.
Okay.
But I just was grabbing it and I pushed it. Looks like a little tank. All right.
Sean, I don't think we're going to go live every day. Jackie's not here tomorrow, right?
Right.
So we will probably kick this off again on Monday, which will give us some time to figure out tires and what else were we missing? Electronics.
Mm-hmm. Well, the headlights.
Oh yeah, the grill. Well, but I don't think we need the grill. I don't understand why they show that in there. Yeah, I think that's the wrong size tool.
Oh.
I don't know why they show that in there and then they don't give it to you. But I suspect that we will get the majority of this done early next week, and then we may have to have a follow-up one once we figure out what parts we need to order. Jackie doesn't even have a radio. She has nothing, so we'll have to get some stuff ordered, and then we'll probably have like a follow-up final video. Yeah, I guess we will have 2 streams on Monday. That's true. What's up? Hi, Problema.
I think I'm just using ones that were too fat.
Let's see. AX116 is an M3x12, so that's too small.
That's too small.
Oh, for that. Sorry. Nope. I was looking on the next page. That requires AXA144, and AXA144 is M3x8. So I don't know why.
Is that wrong?
I think so.
It's wrong?
I think so. I don't know. What is that?
That?
Are those two exactly the same? That one looks smaller.
It does look smaller. I put them next to each other. They looked similar.
Yeah, that one that you have is supposed. That was for this. So we should have pulled that out with this stuff. I can see how that would be confusing. Here, put that stuff in the magic hands that make things go away. It's over in your pile.
Okay.
Sean said he wants to see you drive it once it's done. I agree.
Definitely. Yes.
We'll have to figure out some good ways to go get some footage outside. I guess we have, what do we have? We have a GoPro, we have a little point and shoot that does some video. We've got cell phones, but it would be nice to have something that takes good outdoor stuff. I think the GoPro is HD, but it's so tiny and you can't really see what's going on. You can't see what it's looking at. But it's good for what it's made for.
That's the other one, right?
What?
That's the right one, right?
Looks good. I believe so. Was that clips down all the way?
What? Whoops.
Oh, see what I did there? I'll get it. Let's see.
Thanks. I just need like a magnet suit so when I drop things, they just stick to me.
Well, Eric had the idea of putting a little magnetic rail right here. That would maybe catch some stuff.
I think I have some magnetic tape. We could try that.
Yeah,
It's pretty weak though.
Yeah, I think we'd have to have something substantial for it to actually make a difference.
Come on, baby. Well, they have those, knife strips for your chef knives. Those
That's
are
true.
pretty reasonably priced.
Yeah. But it's got to be strong enough to catch a bouncing screw and pull it out of midair and suck it down.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that actually exists, but. I think just a bigger mat would be of benefit, probably.
Or they have magnetic trays.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, this is magnetic. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because that shim likes to hover. Alright. But, little tank. This guy. Now I need...
So at the same time, it wants you to screw things in from the top and the bottom. I would guess that maybe you could put this in first since the other thing goes down into it, right?
Let's see. Now, does this guy have to go this way, or what's a good...
We will figure that out once we run all the wiring, but your links are going to get attached right here. So we'll see what happens.
Alright. Ta-da! It's beautiful. Okay, so these guys get the same size. And then I'm gonna need...
You're going to need three 12mm ones and one... What?
Yeah, I'm out of screws now.
No, that's interesting. It says you need one M3x12. Oh, okay, because that's button heads. Okay.
Oh, where'd my
So you need one M3x8, which should be this, and three M3x12s. You have one, and then you have this. So, a couple of things, a couple of options. This means that either somewhere we used M3x12s where we should have used M3x8s, or the instructions are incorrect, and what you have will actually work. So those are the possibilities.
I know this guy right here was a button head.
So where was there anywhere that you remember using an M3x12? Let's see, M3x8 should have been used.
I might have done it on this guy.
Let's see,
Because...
So when you just put that case on, did you use really, really long screws? Did you use these or those?
I think I used these guys.
Okay.
But I did use one really long one on here.
Well, that might be okay. Let's see. Going back further, let's see, where was the last place it called for an M3x8? So somewhere in here, it wanted some M3x8s. So these two, maybe? Those are supposed to be short. Could it be those?
Probably.
Well, one way to find out. Pull one of those bad boys out and see what happens.
Where am I now?
So you're looking at
these guys. That's that last cover.
I think these two. Yeah, those two. So see if one of those is an M3x12. You can just do it one at a time. Which if it is, you'd think it would have bottomed out. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of those that are supposed to be M3x8. Okay, so that one's correct. So put him back in, and then you can take out his buddy. So basically, you're just gonna have to go around and look and see where the incorrect one is. Unless, let's see. Actually, I'm not sure that you really need an M3x12 for any of these other holes anyway. Like I said, it could be an error in the instructions. That's an M3x8, so that's good too. So the other spot that I see is back over here. So that's on the back side where the, what'd you call it, the windy thing comes out, sort of. So try, yeah, let's see. So these two, I remember you did those correctly because you went back, because the first time you had some in there that were too long. What's in these two holes? Let's see, those are supposed to be long, right? So we don't need to check those. We know they're supposed to be long. So without going crazy far back into the instructions, it may just be that those screws are all okay to use for this.
But weren't we missing a button head though? Because I just had these two for the servo mounting.
Right, I think that's all you needed. Yeah. So the two button heads are up there. Down here, these are all flat heads. It's just that they're only calling for one short one and three long ones. But we have three short ones and one long one.
Dang it.
So something's off, and it may be our error, or it may be something in the instructions. I don't even know where that came out. Oh, right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's okay. So I'm not seeing anything that's off based on what you're doing right now. I mean, that's I went all the way back. So many things could have happened. They could have sent us incorrect screws. There still could be a screw put in somewhere incorrectly that we're not noticing. I know that's those. Yeah, so the only thing I can think to try is let's just mount it up with what you got and let's see if this thing feels loose. Because really, if one M3x8 is okay there, I don't know why they can't mostly be M3x8, but then you've got one really long one. I don't know where it's going to go because it's crazy long. But we'll have to see. That seems like a lot of screw for a spot that it's going to be too careful there. I don't want to stab yourself. Yeah, why did they make those so long?
Going down into that.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot. What do I know?
So that might be interesting if, other people want this stuff. Maybe we could do a kit of the motor and the servo and some extra screws.
Well, yeah, I don't even know. It would be hard to guess on the screws because I'm not sure what. I don't know what we actually need there yet.
Sure.
Are you tightening screws that were already tight?
No, I put my screwdriver here and I was like, okie dokie.
Okay, so that's down. So now we got to figure out how to tighten this.
That guy's got to be the long one.
Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure that having crazy long screws in there would even be beneficial. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Wait, what? Oh. Or you know what I have? I don't know what I did with it though. The magnetic bracelet. You ever see one of those? It's just a little elastic and like a huge flat magnet on your wrist. So if you're like climbing a ladder,
Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea.
instead of holding stuff in your mouth.
What? That's how I figure out if the screw's gonna work or not. So I figure out the grade of the screw is yeah. Taste. Grade 8 hardware tastes different than, you know, grade 5.
We're licking batteries out here, people.
That's how I test 9 volts. Isn't that how everyone tests them?
Yes.
You just put them on your tongue. If it shocks you, it's good.
Yes.
I think we may have missed something.
Let's... Here.
Let me see. Oh, this just wasn't down all the way. That needs to be tightened a little more. That's all. Sorry. Did I drop something? Or was it...
What? Oh, no, the screw fell out. Tighten what now?
So, this screw, that.
Oh.
The servo looked like it was loose. So you should, I think that side's okay. It's just the other side, if you pick it up and kind of look in between there, it's not making contact with the skid plate.
It's not? How?
Yeah, that gap right there where your fingernail went.
Alright.
Don't know. It can be hard to judge the tightness of plastic stuff sometimes. Well, that's okay, Sean. It's okay if you need to sign off to pick someone up and drive. We absolutely don't need you to be, I guess, stream watching and driving.
Don't come in
There's
to drive.
laws against that.
Right. Thanks for joining, Sean.
Yeah, thank you. This is great. I'm going to have you build all my vehicles from now on.
Oh, I'm gonna have the buffest
That's
wrist
right.
in the West. Oh, jeez, every time. Oh, it's so
If not, my arm's going to turn into jelly.
Can I just use a drill?
No.
Oh.
It's like Karate Kid. Paint the fence. You don't know it, but later when you go to actually drive, having really strong reflexes to turn, it's going to help.
I'm in training.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's why you're sure.
If I'm not in battle, I'm
I need
training.
to go find a gi for you and some different color belts.
Yes.
I need to contact someone about locked up RC belt buckles. That's what it is. Let me see. Let me send a message to a guy.
All right, you ain't going nowhere. So, like, what kind of tires should I get for this?
Whatever you like. Rubber?
Rubber? Oh, yeah, because there's, like, different
Yeah.
foams and stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We will have to sit down and go through the variously available. Variously? I'm just making up words. Just making things up. We will have to go through all the different tires that are available and let you look at things and Kind of pick a set that you like. I mean, for now, I would say go based off of something that you like the way that it looks and say, hey, I like the way that looks, and I will tell you why it probably will offer you good or bad traction based on our local terrain. And actually, the local Austin, what's the name of it? Austin RC Crawlers is a good Facebook group that you could join. And that's the kind of thing where you could post up and ask people. I know the tires that I like, but I don't want to bias you with my opinion. So, you know, are they all nice and flush? Because that's, you definitely want to make sure those are in all the way, because if they catch it all, they will catch all the rocks and edges and lips and whatever. So
We're about to catch these hands.
Yeah, you know, it seems to me like maybe that's another spot in the instructions where it's incorrect.
Yeah.
Maybe those other two are supposed to be the 144s. I don't know.
That's all the screws that were in the bag.
Well, no, I mean, a 12 may fit into those holes, but I don't know that it's necessary.
Right?
And it's, I mean, you got 4, yeah.
It's on there.
Sweet.
Yes.
We're at 152. You want to see what's on the next page?
Sure.
I think it's building drive shafts or something. I don't remember. I cheated and I looked ahead, but I don't remember what it is.
Yes, drive shaft assembly.
So we could probably build the drive shafts, and then that'll probably be it for today because we're coming up on that 2-hour mark. Or maybe we can do like yesterday and have you build one and save one for the next day, but we'll see how long it takes. Bag F.
Wait, there's more comments.
Oh, so sorry. Well, good, Sean. I'm glad you're not driving in strength. That would be bad.
What's the Spectrum remote?
It's a brand. So, Ford, Chevy, different brands.
Okay.
There's, I think, the more, I guess the 2 bigger ones that I can think of off the top of my head are going to be Futaba and Spectrum. Sean, I like Spectrum. I used to use Spectrum remotes. Oh, let's see, what was it, like DX3R, I think, first came out. I had one of those. And at some point, I switched over to a Futaba 4 PKS, and I really, really loved that radio. Actually, my favorite radio ever was my multiplex. I don't remember, Proficar 403 or something like that, I think. That felt the best in my hand. The same mold was used to make a Nomadio, but we're talking old, like AM kind of stuff. Not AM, FM. But currently I use a Futaba. I really like it. It's way more radio than I need. I wish that they would come out with a little bit cheaper, slightly dumbed down version of it, because I've got a 7PX. I wish there was a 7... Oh gosh, I don't even remember all their different acronyms they have. But I do like Spectrum radios. There was one competition, though, that I went to, and that was the Montana Scale Designs, Scale Nationals back in, God, when was that? Like 2011, I think? And everybody had to drive their truck through a sewer pipe. Well, it wasn't really a sewer pipe. It was a water drainage pipe. So one of those big, like, I don't know, 20, 30-inch wavy metal pipes. I don't even know what you call those. Corrugated, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And everybody that had a Spectrum was losing connection with their truck midway through the pipe. And everyone that had a Futaba was not. So I got a Futaba, and I haven't had problems since then. I do like them. They are expensive. But I picked up the 7PX and got rid of my 4PKS because I got a TRX4 and it has so many channels. You just have to be able to run so many servos. Welcome, Freddie. Culvert, yes, culvert pipe. So we're down to drive shafts.
Yes. One of these is longer. And it doesn't say which one is which one.
No, they don't. However, some of the other drive shaft parts are longer and shorter. So my guess would be that the short one goes with the short one and the long one goes with the long one.
That makes sense. So, gonna need, wait a minute, these two, those two, these two, those two. What? Where does this guy go? These guys.
That looks like it maybe gets used on the, yeah, next page. So there's some serious set screws.
Yes. Boom, boom, and then boom, boom.
Yeah.
I wish there was like order operations on this. It looks cool and it's exploded, but I need some this stuff and I need some this stuff. Interesting. All right.
Yeah, that's where I'd start. I'd probably screw it in.
What?
I'd put that screw that holds the first two pieces together. So you got those little screws that go through that and into that.
Okie dokie.
That's what I would start.
But on that side, what? So the pipe end, it's gonna go all the way down like that? That's crazy tough.
Got a long tool. It's all good. Well, she's definitely going to have B-blocks, Sean. Don't know which ones yet. We're going to let her pick what she likes. And we'll do the same thing for tires. And for the foams, I'm just going to start her off with whatever foams come with the tires so she can learn like the rest of us.
Alright, I think I put my Loctite in the wrong spot.
Where'd you put it?
In the inside middle.
Oh.
Because I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no wonder.
Well, that's alright. Some of it probably got on the screw anyway. You don't need a whole ton of it. A little bit of hair.
Cat buzz. Those poor children.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to learn an instrument, but I wasn't willing to be in marching band.
Sure.
Oh, okay, I see. They both get one.
Yeah.
So, what's the difference between this stuff and super glue? It's less brittle?
Chemical compound. Loctite, you can still usually get a screw out. Crazy glue, I don't know if you would actually be able to ever get the screw out ever. Of course, most people in the hobby. So Crazy Glue is really just a brand, like Kleenex. It's really all facial tissue or whatever, but we call it Kleenex or Scotch tape or whatever because that's the brand that's kind of we've become familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But Crazy Glue is also, well, Crazy Glue, the formulation really is just CA glue, most of them, which is carnofascrylate, whatever, or something or another. So it's called CA glue. We sell Zap, this, right? That is one of the hobby product brands, and it's formulated a little differently. But you all can also get a huge bottle like that, and better than the little tiny tubes of the Crazy Glue. Yes.
Yes?
That's how it will go. Oh, sorry, I'm not paying attention. No, I would put the long with the long and the short with the short.
Ugh. Maybe we should keep a list of the way that this thing is.
We can go back through after, and I'm sure we'll remember. We've got a video log of everything.
I'll remember forever.
That's right.
Alright, so that looks right.
Yep.
But.
So now you just put the other parts on, and then they will get screwed to the transmission if we have time. I think that's where you need grease, right? Yeah. I'd put a little dab of grease on those things as you slide them in.
On the outside?
Or the inside of this, either way.
Well, let me figure out what I'm gonna do first.
Sure.
So I don't greasify this whole situation.
That's what you do. So the little pin is going to slide through the little holes in that, through that barrel.
Do this?
Yep.
Okay. But not that
and
one?
That slides on top, and that holds the pin in place.
Okay.
And then there's another thing that screws in to hold that in place.
So, not the outside? Just the inside?
You can do all of it, but I would mostly focus on the inside because that's where it's going to be. The little barrel nut that's in there is going to move around a lot, and then the pin that slides through it also. There shouldn't be as much friction on the outside of that, the big part, the cup. Welcome to wanting free hands.
Dude, I'm just so happy I have two again. What? Okay. Ta-da.
There you go.
But that's gonna line up, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Welcome, Dustin. You've joined us near the tail end. Jackie is finishing drive shafts, and I think that's probably where we're going to knock off for the day because we've been doing this for 2 hours and 7 minutes. We will pick it back up on Monday, though.
Christ.
Mm-hmm. I will mention to you, without getting too technical about it, when we go to put this on the truck, oh, here I am just breaking everything.
Huh.
You will kind of want these two things to line up, if that makes sense. So when I say these two things, you want the pins and everything
Okay.
to be facing in similar directions just because of the way harmonics and rotation work. Also, keep in mind that the holes on this thing are different sizes.
What?
Yeah, because one side of this is threaded and the other side is not.
Okay.
So just something to be aware of. They don't have to thread in from the same side, but just so you know.
Makes sense. Wait a minute.
I didn't want to say anything. Is that bad of me?
No.
Just let her struggle.
That's how we learn. And by we, I mean me.
So how did you feel? How do you feel today went compared to the first 2 days?
I'm better.
Yeah.
Less angry. I only smashed twice today, which is a record. Well, because these maps.
Yeah, some of the instructions. It's hard to write instructions. Honestly, it is. For the instructions that I have written for the products that we have instructions for, there's a lot that goes into it. And then sometimes when you're too familiar with a product and you're trying to write the instructions, your brain makes leaps that you don't even realize that other people may not make those same leaps with you. There you go.
Boom.
All right. So that is we are now halfway on page 24 of the Axial CAPRA instructions. You wanna, yeah, I'm thinking maybe we wait to do the actual connections tomorrow because we're gonna be connecting all the links and everything. Not too big a deal. So yeah, we will leave off. We will pick it up next week, Monday. I think you'll be here, right? Yeah. So thank you to everyone that tuned in. And anything else? Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. Try to help me think of what color to paint it, what kind of wheels to get. Any input is appreciated.
Oh, I know what kind of wheels you get.
Oh.
I just don't know which style. See, that's the plug.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Have a good weekend.
Jackie builds CAPRA. Jackie
builds a CAPRA. Jackie builds CAPRA. Jackie builds a CAPRA.